Appurtenant as noun, referring to something that is considered to be associated with or necessary for the use or enjoyment of another property or right. The appurtenant is a legal term referring to a right or privilege that belongs to a property. The appurtenance to the property included the right to access the shared driveway and use the community pool. The appurtenance to the easement included the right to pass through the neighboring property to access the main road. The appurtenant was granted to the tenant for the duration of the lease agreement. The appurtenant document included the list of all appurtenants and their associated rights.
Chagrin is noun, caused by a setback or a failure. Refers to a feeling of disappointment, embarrassment, or frustration. Much to his chagrin, the student received a failing grade on the final exam. She couldn't help but feel a sense of chagrin when she realized she had sent the email to the wrong person. The politician tried to hide his chagrin when he lost the election by a narrow margin. The actor's chagrin was evident when he was passed over for the lead role in the play. The company's CEO felt a great deal of chagrin when the new product launch failed to meet sales expectations. Paragon as noun, a model of excellence or perfection in a particular field or area. A person or thing that is considered to be a perfect example or model of a particular quality or type. She was considered a paragon of beauty in her community. The athlete was a paragon of dedication and hard work. The scientist was a paragon of creativity and innovation. The teacher was a paragon of patience and compassion. The painting was a paragon of the Renaissance style. Endemic is noun, a disease or condition that is regularly found and consistently present in a particular geographic location or population. A plant or animal species that is native to and restricted to a particular geographical area. The endemic of poverty in the region was a major concern for policymakers. The study aimed to understand the causes of the endemic of malaria in the area. The scientist was surprised to discover an endemic of a previously unknown species in the remote forest. The endemic of corruption in the government had eroded public trust in the political system. The endemic of obesity in the country was attributed to a lack of access to healthy food options. Provincial is noun, a person who is limited in outlook or experience, often as a result of being isolated from larger cultural centers. A resident of a particular province or region, especially one considered to be unsophisticated or narrow-minded. The book is a collection of short stories set in different provincial towns. The provincial represented his district in the national parliament. The provincial speech at the conference was met with mixed reactions. The film explores the lives of a group of provincials in a small town. The country bumpkin was looked down upon by the city dwellers as a provincial.
Apothegm as noun, a pithy, terse, or memorable statement that expresses a general truth or principle. A terse, pointed statement of a principle or rule of conduct. One of Benjamin Franklin's most famous apothegms is, "Time is money." The book is full of apothegms that offer wisdom on a variety of subjects. His speech was memorable not only for its length, but also for its apothegms and witty remarks. The teacher often shared apothegms with her students as a way of imparting life lessons. Some of the most well-known apothegms in literature come from the works of Shakespeare.
Verisimilitude as noun, the appearance or quality of being true or real, often with regard to a story, event, or idea. The likelihood or probability of something being true or real, often based on a comparison with known facts or experience. The defendant's alibi lacked verisimilitude and was quickly discredited. The historian questioned the verisimilitude of the popular legend. The actor's performance lacked verisimilitude and failed to convince the audience. The author's use of detail and description gives the story a sense of verisimilitude. The special effects in the movie were so convincing that they added to its verisimilitude. Indifference is noun. Lack of interest, concern, or emotional involvement. Lack of interest, concern, or sympathy for someone or something. Apathy. Her indifference towards her friend's problems hurt their relationship. The company's indifference to customer complaints led to a decline in sales. His indifference to politics made him an unpopular candidate. The teacher's indifference to student progress resulted in poor performance. The doctor's indifference to patient concerns caused frustration.
Charlatan as noun. A person who fraudulently claims to have skills or knowledge in a particular field, uses deception or trickery to achieve their ends. The self-proclaimed healer turned out to be a charlatan, taking advantage of people's vulnerabilities for personal gain. The financial advisor was exposed as a charlatan, using fraudulent investment schemes to deceive clients and pocket their money. The psychic was revealed to be a charlatan, using cold reading and other tricks to make people believe in their supposed supernatural abilities. The weight loss guru was found to be a charlatan, selling fake products and making false claims about their effectiveness. The fake doctor was exposed as a charlatan, having never received any medical training but still practicing medicine and prescribing drugs.
Pinnacle is noun. The highest point or summit of a structure, mountain, or other natural feature. The most elevated or highest point of achievement, success, or distinction. The company's success reached its pinnacle during the 1990s. The pinnacle of the cathedral towered above the surrounding buildings. The new product launch was the pinnacle of the company's marketing efforts. Winning the championship was the pinnacle of his career. The mountain climber finally reached the pinnacle after days of climbing. Broadside is noun. A type of printed advertisement or announcement, typically one that is large and posted in a public place. The side of a ship above the waterline, particularly the side facing forward. The ship was hit by a powerful broadside from the enemy fleet, causing significant damage. The newspaper published a scathing broadside against the politician, accusing them of corruption and dishonesty. The driver was caught in a broadside collision with another car, totaling both vehicles. The author's latest book received a broadside of negative reviews, despite their previous successes. The historic fort had a collection of broadsides on display, showcasing the propaganda and news of the time. Palimpsest is noun. A manuscript, typically of papyrus or parchment, that has been written on more than once, with the earlier writing being only partially erased and still visible. Something that has been modified or reused many times over, often retaining trace elements of its previous forms or uses. The book contained a palimpsest, with the original text faintly visible beneath the new writing. The ancient artifact was a palimpsest, with layers of writing from different periods of history. The document was a palimpsest, with the original text hidden beneath layers of edits and revisions. The library's collection included several palimpsests that were being studied by scholars. The discovery of a palimpsest in the archive was a major breakthrough for historians. Banality as noun. A trite or unoriginal remark or situation. The commonness or ordinary nature of something. The movie's script was full of banalities, with the characters speaking in predictable and cliched ways. The book was criticized for its banality, with reviewers noting that it offered nothing new or interesting. The product was criticized for its banality, with consumers noting that it offered nothing new or exciting. The artist's work was criticized for its banality, with some critics noting that it lacked any real depth or meaning. The advertising campaign was criticized for its banality, with many viewers noting that it failed to capture their attention or imagination. Animosity is noun. Strong feelings of hostility or hatred towards someone or something. There has been a long-standing animosity between the two rival soccer teams. The political opponents have expressed their animosity towards each other during the election campaign. The siblings have held onto animosity towards each other since childhood due to a past conflict. The two companies have a history of animosity towards each other due to competing in the same market. The teacher sensed the animosity between two students who had a disagreement in class.
Clemency is noun. It can also refer to a mild or lenient punishment. It can also refer to the act of showing mercy or leniency. The prisoner begged for clemency, but the judge was not swayed and handed down the maximum sentence. The governor granted clemency to the convicted criminal and reduced his sentence. The employee was fired, but he appealed to his boss for clemency and was allowed to keep his job. The charitable organization showed clemency toward the homeless man and gave him food and shelter. The criminal sought clemency from the victim's family and asked for their forgiveness.
Maxim as noun. A short, pithy statement expressing a general truth or rule of conduct. One well-known maxim is "a penny saved is a penny earned." Another famous maxim is "actions speak louder than words." A popular business maxim is "the customer is always right." A maxim often quoted in education is "practice makes perfect." A maxim used in journalism is "never bury the lead."
Exegesis as noun. A critical explanation or interpretation of a text, especially a religious one. The systematic and comprehensive interpretation of a text or passage, especially of the Bible. The debate centered on the different exegeses of the Constitution. The religious text has been the subject of countless exegeses over the centuries. The professor's exegesis of the text shed light on its historical context. The book includes an exegesis of the author's personal experiences. The article's exegesis of the data showed some surprising patterns.
Inequity as noun. An unequal distribution or treatment of resources or opportunities. Unfairness or injustice. The long-standing inequity in access to quality education has created a gap between students from affluent and disadvantaged backgrounds. The pay gap between men and women is a clear example of inequity in the workplace. There is a growing concern about income inequity in many countries. The teacher was criticized for the inequity in grading policies. Gender inequity in the workplace is a persistent problem. Intimate as noun. A close friend or confidant. A close personal relationship or connection. The celebrity's intimates often spoke to the press about her personal life. He was known to be a loyal intimate of the king and had his ear on many matters of state. After the breakup, she found it hard to trust anyone who had been an intimate of her ex-boyfriend. As a writer, he drew on his experiences with his intimates to create realistic and emotionally resonant characters. She was uncomfortable sharing her deepest secrets with even her closest intimates.
Misanthrope as noun. A person who dislikes or distrusts humankind and avoids human society. Someone who holds a negative attitude towards others and is cynical about human nature. Despite her outwardly friendly demeanor, she was secretly a misanthrope. He was known to be a misanthrope and rarely interacted with others. The character in the play was a misanthrope who despised all of humanity. Many people mistakenly believe that misanthropes are simply introverted or shy. The famous philosopher was often described as a misanthrope due to his pessimistic views on human nature.
Ready to boost your English? Meet our vocabulary app, the fun and effective way to master the language. Books learn advanced words with examples and audio. Direct hit master idioms, proverbs, and phrasal verbs. Video game enjoy quizzes, flashcards, and pronunciation tests. Glow showing Europe, Africa translate into 100+ languages, all in one app. Did you learn new words? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share my channel. Download now and start your journey to vocabulary mastery.